Be in the minutes.
There you go.
And get
Recording in progress.
Like to call this meeting to order, call the roll.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith. Unless it's me,
Here.
Trustee Weiner. Here. Trustee Howard.
here.
Trustee Hart. Here. Trustee Schaefer.
Yes.
Trustee Baker.
Here.
Please stand and remove your hat to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'm sorry, I'm a little behind. We need to amend the motion this evening to add an item for review and approval of a water study by the water engineers.
So we're gonna add that as C under new business. Engagement with Health and Willingham.
Okay.
For water study.
Okay,
Okay, I will amend my motion to accept the agenda with the adding on of C under new business, water study.
any other additions or changes?
I don't have any.
I'll second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, public comment. Limited to 3 minutes. You are, when you're recognized, please stand, state your name, and then your address, and then address the board in a professional manner.
Okay, so the first person on the list is Richard Croissant.
Richard Croissant, 100 Ute Avenue, A6. Congratulations on the new skid. I hope it does for you good. The question I have on that was on the lease agreement. It said 300 hours. Is that for the total lease or is that per year? And I just had a question of that. The other question I have is on the shade in the parks. Is that going to be done this year? I got a code violation, which I've tried to clean up, but $10 to send me a registered letter when most of the board members there could come over to my house and speak with me. I don't get, well, I understand why the town's going broke. Because to send me a letter that cost $10 was unbelievable. But anyway, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Okay. Okay, the next one up is Julie Izak.
Good evening, I'm Julie Mizek. I live at 14 Navajo Street, which is directly across Navajo Street from the East Farmer State Bank construction proposed site. My concern is as traffic exits the bank, they are going to impact the privacy of my backyard and my home. Specifically in the winter time, when it gets dark a little bit earlier, right as they pull out of the parking lot, they'll be turning and headlights will go directly into my back door and kitchen window dining area. I propose a solution that the bank assist my husband and I in installing a privacy hedge for a portion of that area that would impact the sight line into my home as cars are turning, not the whole backyard area. And on a different topic, I would just like to voice my opposition to separating the Digby Annex from the town of Kiowa. Just throw my 2 cents worth out. Thank you. I appreciate the bank reps hearing my concerns and plans.
All right, the next one is Debbie Olam.
Debbie Olam, 228 Comanche Street. I have a question about the status of the 2023 audit. I'm asking that you guys review your code. Code does require that it be completed within 120 days after the close of the fiscal period. So I'm curious if there was a reason that it wasn't scheduled till June. It is due to the state the end of June. So again, I'm here to ask about the pavilions. I did do a core request. Based on that, I can see where the town purchased them in April of 22, the cost being $10,222.26. In part of my core request, I find a deposit 2/28 of 2024 for sold pavilions for $3,000. I don't know, I kind of went through the timeline and I printed these out for you guys. Maybe you guys returned part of them to Menards. You guys talked about returning them and getting credit for them. And then maybe there's another deposit I'm missing. They lost $1,000 on them. And then my other question for you is, as I went through those minutes looking for that, I came across in February of 22, you guys brought it to the board's attention that all the tools in the shop were gone again. And you guys were gonna put a system in for a better inventory. So I just wanna ask that you guys followed up with that and did that. So those were, and I can't, my other question, as a statement to go with the pavilions, I did put on here, I couldn't find any resolutions where they had been to go up for auction or anything. The only time they were ever mentioned to go to auction was Mayor Combs suggested if this is an issue with the company at this point, he suggested putting them up for public auction. So I just didn't know whatever happened to them, and maybe there's more money out there you guys got and I just didn't see it, but I would like to know where the balance is. Here's a copy for you, Kim. Okay.
Thanks, Debbie.
Okay. Okay, the next one is Diane Engstrom.
Kim, handouts. Thanks. Diana Edstrom, 26060 County Road 41, Elbert. My comments today are regarding legal invoicing, billing expenditures, and the lien against Mr. Digby's property. I became interested in the town's legal bills, especially as they relate to the Kiowa Creek development. After several open record requests for documents and review of such, I began to see that the town has apparent issues as far as availability of town records, how those records are stored, and the ability to match documents to each other. The town appears to only use a paper record method of accounting. The access I was given was to boxes where records are stored. My experience found invoices and some check stubs stapled to them, and there's photos in there of the document storage. The monetary data I've provided in the handouts is based upon responses to open records requests, Colorado State Auditor, DOLA, town meeting minutes, and other sources as documented on the attachments. With the information provided, I pieced together financial information focusing on legal invoices and expenditures related to Kiowa Creek. I did find that the budget amount from the town for legal expenses is much less than expenditures for legal. I hope that the town's elected officials and the town's administration will look into this information and provide feedback. In the package, I've identified four main areas as follows: legal invoices and town expenditures, budgets and expenditures for legal, chargeback agreement for the Kiowa Creek development, as well as the lien filed against the Digby Properties LLC. Just to close, here are a couple of examples of what you'll find in there. Between 2022 and April 2024, the town expended $146,604.39 on legal fees, but invoices only totaled $136,087.39. 2022 and 2023 budgeted a total of $30,000 for legal, but expenditures were $132,289.39. The chargeback documentation shows $75,567.08 in attorney invoices, when it appears this amount should be $92,747.72. And then as far as the lien filed against Digby Properties LLC in the amount of $28,651.19, I was not able to find any documentation that identified what was included in that, what invoices. And the lien document is filed against CB Kiowa Housing Company LLC and not CB Kiowa Holding Company LLC. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Andrew Coburn.
Comment no longer necessary. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anybody online who would like to make a public comment? Going once, going twice? Okay, that's the end of public comment then.
Okay, staff reports, we, are going to talk about this here in a little bit, but we're pretty much at the end of the road, and, we have a beautiful new bank that's gonna be going in, up the street here just a little bit, and we are excited and proud that, Farmers State Bank's gonna join the town of Kiowa, and we appreciate their patience and all their hard work. Board of Trustees, any comment? Terry?
I do have a comment. I'm just sitting through the water board meeting. It would be greatly appreciated if the audience would not have discussions while the meeting is going on. It's very difficult to concentrate on what's being said. So it would be appreciated if everybody could be quiet when the meeting's going on. That's all I have to say.
Okay, anybody else? Ruth, any comment?
The only comment I have is to update the board who wasn't present during the KWWA this evening, where they passed a motion to review appointing a company to manage KWWA and is under legal review at this time. They tabled the motion to terminate the operating agreement with the town of Kiowa until the agreement for services is reviewed by council.
Okay, anything else?
Not at this time.
Good.
Okay, let's see. We did complete the design and engineering of the pavilions with Cornell Engineering. We have received a building permit from Safe Built for those pavilions, one in each park. And an RFP did go out on May 8th with a deadline of May 23rd for proposals on those. I did indicate we would like to start with Northern Park first, since that's our main public park. And I'd just like to remind everybody that our Music in the Park starts on June 1st. That'll be our first one featuring Randy Kiowa with food trucks. So looking forward to that.
Okay. Anything on Public Works?
Not at this time.
Okay, about code enforcement?
No, the next report is due in July.
Okay. All right, thank you. Consent items, A, approval of minutes from the April 9th, 2024, April 2nd, 2024, April 16th, 2024, and April 23rd, 2024. And we do have a correction on our April 16th meeting, 2024, that started at 7 p.m. Trustee Hart and Trustee Wineland were not here during the roll call, but they did arrive a little bit late. So they were present at the meeting. So I just wanted to clarify that. Any other corrections, additions, or changes in any of the minutes? If not,
Hold on. I do have some clarifications.
okay,
So the next, if you don't mind, because I'll just look at this later, but, okay. Thank you. Yeah.
good.
Yeah, let's see. I have a response to public comment from the April 3rd meeting.
Yeah.
In my memo to you regarding the public comment during April 3rd, 2024 special meeting of the Town Board of Trustees. In response to public comments made at at this special meeting of the Board of Trustees, held on April 3rd, staff, is recommending the board consider the following. There's some typos in there. I'll make those corrections later. Number one, statement by Debbie Olam, Trevor Smith was asked to abstain from voting on the rescission of the Kiowa Creek Development Agreement on April 18th, 2023. But there was no concern for his vote on March 11th, 2024 in Ordinance 3. Our response is Mayor Pro Tem Smith was never asked by the board to abstain from voting on the rescission of the Kiowa Creek Development Agreement on April 18th, 2023. Rather, he felt he held a direct conflict of interest and chose to abstain from. He no longer held, he had a conflict during the vote on March 11th, 2024, when we passed Ordinance 3. Number two, statement by Debbie Olam, the minutes of April 18th, 2023, which were approved at the May 9th, 2023 meeting, indicated the vote incorrectly, and this is a permanent record, which does not accurately reflect the recording of the meeting. After the review of the town charter, Ms. Olam is found to be accurate in that the vote reflected in the minutes was inaccurate. While it still reflects a vote of 4 for and 2 against, it would reflect Mayor Combs' vote as a regular vote, not a tie-breaking vote, which section 4.011 of the town charter allows for. Statement by Debbie Olam, number 3, asserted that she was given proof of what KWWA's vote was, and that is the duty and responsibility of this office to preserve those records. In response, as provided in the April 9th, 2024 monthly meeting, there was no dispute as to Ms. Olam's recollection of the vote taken by the KWWA board, just to what the vote was being made on. which was the Kiowa Creek Development Agreement and not the Water Well Development Agreement. Further, it is accurately recorded in the records that have been maintained by the town. Number 4, statement by Debbie Olam, ordinance 3, series 2024 is inaccurate. And it's also inaccurately stated that it was available on the town website on March 8th because it was not. In response, the ordinance was sent to the web designer for posting to the town website on March 8th, 2024 at 11:53 a.m. At 1:28 p.m., the web designer notified Ms. Boyd and Ms. Davidson through email, there is a massive issue across most of the SIPA sites, and it cannot save any edits at this time. I reported it first thing this morning for several other sites, and it looks like yours is affected too. I'm not sure what I can even do as a workaround. I'm very sorry. I'll keep trying, and many government entities are already pushing on this. At 4:38 a.m. on March 9th, 2024, the web designer advised the issue was corrected overnight and is now accessible. Without the ability to witness exactly when this occurred overnight, before or after midnight, the town is unable to clarify if it was indeed posted on March 8th or March 9th, and due to this, the language stayed. Please note that while the town makes every effort to timely post current happenings to the town website, it is not a requirement under the town charter, which requires publications of impending public hearing, ordinance, or other considerations on official town business, only to be put in the Ranchland News with proper notice of such. Number 5, statement by Debbie Olam. Per the Home Rule Charter, the mayor is in fact to vote as a regular board member, and it is not a tiebreaker vote. As stated in number 2, per section 4.01(1) of the town charter, Mayor Colm has the ability to vote on all business, but put before the board, and his vote should be regarded as a regular vote. Number 6, statement by Debbie Olam. Has any action been taken to correct the liens that were filed incorrectly on the chargeback agreement? In response, the owner of the property was properly noticed of the lien, and the misspelling of name of the debtor / applicant is not fatal to the validity of the lien. Number 7, statement by Debbie Olam. Review all your ordinances because several of them did not have the correct enacting clause. Response, town staff has not reviewed all of the ordinances for the specific language of the enacting clause, but it does not warrant the ordinance invalid. Number 8, statement by Debbie Olam. Did the town pay an attorney to attend the meetings? She's requesting the town go into executive sessions appropriately from now on and by state statute. Read the statement we were supposed to read when we go in, and when we come out, read the statement that we're supposed to read that indicates whether the trustees discussed anything outside the specified reason for executive session. In response, in light of all the legal issues now facing the town, there are several steps the town is now taking to ensure compliance with all rules of meetings, including executive session, which now includes not recording portions of executive session when receiving legal advice for the prescribed purposes. That is the April 3rd public comments. April 9th public comments. Number 1, statement by Debbie Olam. Town of Kiowa's failure to make loan payments, bills not being paid, reports not filed, violations from the state and the CDPHE for failure to report and test, audits and budgets not being sent to the USDA and other state agencies, offices not being open, calls going unanswered, bills not going out on time, giving away taps to Ann Alley at no charge, and the attack and accusations put out by your attorney and administrator that KWWA signed an agreement without voting. In response, actions or inactions on the part of the past administrations were not put into context with this statement. With that said, there has been no failure to make loan payments since the town administrator's employment with the town, as they've been set up on auto pay each quarter with the USDA. In July 2021, the previous administrator left this position suddenly and with much unfinished business. Indeed, while those bills were delinquent upon Ms. Boyd's entry into this position, not all were delinquent because Ms. Olam offered her assistance in keeping this office going for both entities in July and August 2021. So that did reduce the amount of unpaid bills greatly. It is important to add context to this statement wherein Ms. Olam provided none. Regarding failure to report or test violations received from the state and or the CDPHE, it is important to note that these responsibilities lie directly with the contractor hired to conduct them and not the administrator or the town clerk. Without the ability to what has To speak to what has happened in the past with other administrations, any and all reports of violations received by this office were and are immediately dealt with at the time the violation is reported. Again, Ms. Olam's statement, attack and accusations put out by your attorney and administrator that KWWA signed an agreement without voting. We've clarified that the KWWA board did indeed take a vote at the July 13, 2023 meeting, but it was with regard to the town's development agreement and not the water well development agreement, a fact that is further clarified by the recording of the July 13, 2023 meeting itself. Number 2, statement by Debbie Olam. The town is keeper of the minutes, videos, permits, all records. She asserted that the town of Kiowa and the board of trustees have failed in that capacity. She further asserted that the administrator, Kim Boyd, closed the town of Kiowa website that was up to date with 2020 and 2021 records, and they are not on the new website. Response is again as clarified in the March 12, 2024 monthly meeting of the board of trustees. New state laws have been put in place regarding accessibility on public websites, and the town of Kiowa's web designer, Coberly Web Creations, deemed it necessary to remove old information from the website to make room for current information. The records will exist with the town and are accessible by open records request. At no time since September 2021 did this office fail to maintain records on behalf of KWWA. To the contrary, this administration has spent tireless and countless hours attempting to retrieve and recreate records that were lost or never made by the previous administration. Number 3, statement by Debbie Olam. On page 2 of Ordinance 3, Series 2024, an ordinance reaffirming the rescission of the Kiowa Creek Meadows Development Agreement and Well Development Agreement and further establishing the disqualifications of appointment of board member to the Kiowa Water and Wastewater Authority. At the 5th whereas, wherein it's asserted the development agreement failed to follow any formal approval requirements, there is no record of the Water Authority approving the well agreement in any manner. There are no minutes, resolutions, or motions to approve the well development agreement by the Water Authority. That statement is completely inaccurate. Ms. Olam, number 4, Ms. Olam continues to state the town of Kiowa failed to keep minutes or video, and this is a violation of the operating agreement. As previously clarified, after review of the minutes of July 13, 2023, KWWA meeting of the July 13, 2023 KWWA meeting, it was verified that at best, KWWA approved a draft of the Kiowa Creek Meadows Development Agreement and affirms was no approval, motion, or otherwise on the water well development agreement. Number 5, statement made by Debbie Olam. Last night you voted on an ordinance that was not available to the public on your website as of the scheduling of the meeting. The town of Kiowa Board of Trustees voted on March 11, 2024 in a 4-2 vote in favor of approving Ordinance 3, Series 2024. On page 2 of at the 5th whereas, as the development agreement failed to follow any formal approval requirements, there is no record of the Water Authority approving the well agreement in any manner. There are no minutes, resolutions, or motions to approve the well development agreement by the Water Authority. In response, the ordinance was made available on the website March 11, 2024. In review of the minutes of KWWA meeting verifying at best, KWWA approved a draft of the Kiowa Creek Meadows Development Agreement and affirms there's no approval, motion, or otherwise on the water well development agreement. Lastly, number 6, statement by Debbie Olam, wherein she asserts the town broke their own home rule charter rules by not allowing public comment at the meeting held on March 5, 2024. Response: at the special meeting on March 5, 2024, the town did not take any action or have any topics other than executive session. However, the town will always have an opportunity to make public comment for all special meeting and regularly scheduled meetings moving forward. So,
Could I have a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting mentioned
With
with revisions? And we have, pardon me,
I make that
you
motion.
amended that motion.
Yes.
Second,
I'll second that.
we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, expenditures year to date.
nothing out of the ordinary. There's no extraordinary expenditures for last month.
Anyone have any questions on the expenditures? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
We have a motion. We have a second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose same sign. Okay, we'll now call our public hearing to order. We will start with the Elbert County Republican Party special event liquor license request. Yes, sir.
My name is Dwayne Bird, representing the Elbert County Republicans. We did have, previously submitted the application, and Trevor did call me after the, meeting last month, after the April meeting, that apparently the dates that I, filled in on the application for the futurity event in September were in error.
Okay.
And so we discussed getting that amended. I did post the amended dates for reapplication, or I guess the amended application, that was posted on our public notice of the fairgrounds on 20 April. And and then the amended dates for the futurity is the 6th and 7th of September.
Okay. Did everybody have an opportunity to peruse through the applications? Anything from those present? There are no further questions from either the board or those present regarding the information provided in this public hearing. I am concluding the public hearing concerning the special event liquor license request for the Elbert County Republican Party and for the big time bucking horse futurity. And we would ask for a motion to approve the special event liquor license request presented tonight.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, both of them are just one.
We did one, we already approved the other one. That's it.
There we go. Okay. Now we will now call our public hearing to order on the Farmers State Bank new construction plans. The bank will be erected at 434 Comanche Street in Kiowa. And we have a request for approval on new construction plans. Who got it? Anybody want to present anything?
Thank you. I know it's been a long evening that a number of people have been here. We want to just thank the town for working with the bank. It's been kind of a long process, but we have gone through a lot of reviews and items, and I think we have crossed off literally everything that is on the list that has been taken care of and reviewed. We do have examples. I'm not sure if anybody has seen the bank. There is, if you have had a chance, I know that the bank has a video that is running inside their lobby that kind of shows what we have as a new bank that will be up here along the street. Our site plan items are on the opposite side, so we've worked very hard with the community planners, the town, the bank, and our contractor to try to achieve a site that will be pleasing and something the town can be proud of having this bank in their community. So with that, I'm open for any questions. Yes, ma'am.
Terry.
Are you all willing to work with our resident that was having some issues with the lights and such? Are you willing to work with her on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had that discussion at the Planning and Variance Committee.
I wasn't at that one, so.
You weren't, you missed it.
I know.
Anybody else have anything?
Excuse me, I'm just trying to clarify. So was the coordination with the neighbor made a condition from planning and zoning, or it was just simply a recommendation that the two parties would work together?
It was a commitment, Ruth, for them to work together at the
Yeah.
planning meeting.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so is that part of,
Hold
the-
on just a minute, Ruth. Go ahead. Come on up and.
yeah,
Randy,
thank you.
Randy Pieper, president of Farmer State Bank. So we have two residents, and I think Ruth, are confusing. They're separate issues.
Okay,
The residents that are to the west of the property, we have discussed that they were concerned about a privacy fence. We are going to build, get a permit from the town. And the other resident is to the south of the property, and we spoke with her before the meeting started, and we're willing to work with her to do something to address that. The lights for being the biggest issue in the winter, the hours. We'll close at 5:30, so there won't be a lot of that, but there's some, and we're willing to work with her to try to get that resolved.
You're okay with it? All right.
I was
Thank
gonna
you,
point
Randy.
out that there were two different
Okay.
issues, two different parties.
Anything else?
no, I just
Ruth?
appreciate your willingness to work with the neighbors, and we should probably incorporate that in our approval.
Travis, did you have a presentation? Just speak.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Boyd. Travis Reynolds, consultant to the town regarding planning and zoning issues and project manager for the town's review of this Farmer State Bank project. We do have a presentation this evening that goes over the basics of the site plan. And then as part of your packet, we did provide you with approximately 2 weeks ago, as well as an updated memo outlining their recommendation and the potential of a sample motion for approval included in that memo, with the outlined conditions that we still have as remaining items that we would like to have addressed prior to the issuance of permits for construction and grading. If everyone is familiar with it, we could forego that as well. But all of the information was largely provided to you in the packet and with the updated plans.
Thank you. If there are no further questions or discussion items, I'm concluding this public hearing concerning Farmers State Bank new construction plans. And I would like to ask for a motion to approve the bank's plans to build as presented tonight, with the agreement that they will work with the neighbors to mitigate what privacy that they need, and they've already discussed it.
Yeah.
There's a sample motion at the bottom, that's safe built.
Would you like us to read that motion? And for approval of the Farmer State site plan, the site plan be completed to the satisfaction of the town staff and referral agencies prior to the issuance of any grading or building permits issued by the town. Number two, the applicant provide the town with documentation of a highway access permit as approved by the Colorado Department of Transportation. And number three, work with the residents that have had concerns
Okay. We have a motion,
Second.
okay, Jonathan? Second?
That was Josh.
Okay, thanks, Josh. We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Trevor? I didn't hear you.
I was trying to get unmuted, but
Okay. So you're aye. You're for this, correct? Would you like, we already voted up.
Said an aye, Trevor.
There you go.
I was,
Okay. Good to go.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you, Mayor and Board.
Okay. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
We'll hold just a minute until we go to old business.
Thank you.
It'll be exciting. There were a lot. They really want this to go. And this guy right here, the guy that got up, is Steve Brand. Yeah, this page. I've taken everything I have, put in there. Used to make over with the last. Just so that I didn't know how much you were being.
I didn't.
Yeah, this one?
Yes, because that's the one that has the things.
Okay.
Yeah, he goes up and on.
Yeah.
You know, it's really sad. The Baker family had their last elementary school performance.
Oh.
My last elementary school kid.
It's kind of sad, but it's not bad.
I don't know, I've got Madison graduating in 2 weeks and moving out, and Mallory asked me to sign her paperwork to join the movie.
Tammy did not get a copy of this.
Oh, my.
Do you have an extra one?
So big things happening.
I think there's extras over here.
Yeah.
Here's a pile of extras, I don't know who's what's who's, and
Okay,
have one if you need.
are we ready to continue?
You,
Are you still recording?
we've been recording.
Okay.
We probably need to shut the door so all this other doesn't catch up. with
Okay,
the recording.
old business, the final Kiowa Comprehensive Plan Update Review.
Ruth, did you want to speak to this?
I can.
You guys
They,
have a shared copy there, that is the draft of the comprehensive plans. The reason you guys are sharing a copy is because that's about 70 pages long.
yeah, we apologize. We tried to get that to you in a compressed version, and I know it's lengthy. And is anyone from Kimley Horn presenting tonight?
I do not have them on.
No.
No, and Josh, I wanted to note Josh took issue with the picture on the front like you did.
there's a lot of snow in these pictures.
Yeah. Ruth noted
So,
that.
I had the same comment for what that's worth, so we can certainly work on that again.
It's not a big deal, I was just joking.
Well, I would,
It's not worth the man.
quite frankly, I wasn't, so.
I didn't
Um,
get pictures when they came across for mine, they were all black, so.
Really?
Oh, on that compressed copy, you couldn't see it?
He would not send it to you guys.
I didn't get.
So they had to compress it in some form or fashion that allowed us to be. But it wasn't.
So these are all, like, I saw graphs,
Yeah.
but the pictures were gone.
That's not.
But it's super impressive.
Mhm.
So thanks to everybody who
Yeah.
put their time into this because it's
Sure.
quite impressive.
I sent you guys some notes on a couple of things in there. Otherwise, I'm good with it. It's, they did a good job.
Ruth,
Really good.
anything else you want to add?
No, just, we were looking for some comments and concerns or any edits anyone thought was important moving forward. I hear nothing. I mean,
I
we
hear
can
nothing.
give you guys more time if you want. You can make a motion this evening to approve the comprehensive plan subject to Terry's comments. However you wish to proceed. We have we closed out that grant completely, Kim?
I cannot close it out until I have an approval from the board.
Oh, okay. So there you go. So
Terry, what are your comments on it? I think. Oh, you'd have to ask me that, Bane. I can't remember. I know one of them was, on, I believe it's page 5 where it talks about the history.
But they're pretty minute.
Yes,
changes.
they have like, lumbar and it should have been lumber.
Oh.
So,
Spelling errors.
yes. And Kim, do you remember any other comments?
No, off the top of my head, right?
Okay. Let me see if I can pull up the email real quick. There was nothing major.
It wasn't content, it was.
Right, it was not, thank you.
I didn't get the email. Where did that? For this.
Well,
I think you sent it yesterday, or was it with this attached
It
to
would have
it?
been from me.
They sent it to me on Thursday because I go through everything with the fine tooth comb, so.
I think that compressed version came Friday to everybody from Sasha.
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't reload that one, so I don't know if that. The one you sent me was perfect. All the pictures came up, everything.
Oh, okay, good.
So we could make a motion to approve this with some revisions that Terry did.
Previously forwarded,
Okay,
request for revision.
because if they're pretty small, then
They're just like typos.
yeah.
Yeah, here, I will, I'll read you what I picked up out there. Under acknowledgements, the Joint Planning and Variance Commission. There's acknowledgements of who all attended meetings and such. Mayor Coleman, myself should be listed in there because we were at all the meetings. Page 13, under background, paragraph 1. They're using the term council. While technically we are a town council, we're not referred to as such. It needs to say Board of Trustees, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree with that.
And then the lumbar thing. Then on page 21, electricity, they've got it listed as IREA. It is no longer that, it's core. And that was it.
And I've requested they change joint planning.
Yes,
And variance to just planning commission. Because
Yes.
that's what it is referred to.
okay. Yeah, that was it.
Making that motion there, Miss Wine.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the Kiowa Comprehensive Plan update with Terry's revisions.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those
Ask a question.
questions, go.
What about the bridge? How are we doing on bridge engineering construction? It's in here, that we're working with DOLA, but how are we doing with dates?
Oh, it's gonna be a while. I think we discussed that before Tammy was on the board.
That, just so you know, that's being fully funded by CDOT, and
Yes.
CDOT is actively in the design and engineering of
Right.
it this year.
Okay.
With the hopes of starting construction next year.
Okay. Right.
That's what the last update was.
Okay.
So it's not part of our. Thank you.
Comprehensive plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else, Tammy?
No.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All the same sign? Okay, motion passes. Okay, municipal court.
Okay, so I had all the players come to the table last week. The court clerk, the judge, the proposed prosecutor, code enforcement. And they have together decided they feel, starting municipal court August 7th is feasible. They are setting a court time of 9 AM. They're decided that they don't feel it needs to be conducted every single month. Iowa is not overrun with code violations. Only a few, requiring any kind of court docket. So they're looking at every other month. They want to stay around the first Wednesday of each month. They've agreed on that together. The only thing that would change that is if there has to be a trial, or a conflict in their scheduling. Along those same lines, we need to discuss, engaging with the Osmus law firm. Possibly through CML and, other avenues for a law firm that performs prosecuting services. Osmus Law Firm is right up the road in Elizabeth. So they're relatively close. It was not feasible to have Ruth, play a part in this or do the prosecuting in the municipal court for the fact that she's so far away. And, we don't want to pay those fees for traveling and, if she's only gonna be here. Sometimes how long that court, 15, 20 minutes, so it's just not feasible.
Doesn't make sense, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So, we have talked with, Adam Osmus, at the Osmus Law Firm. I've included in your packet their, engagement letter and, references and a resume for your review. They are looking at $600 per court appearance. So if it's every other month, it's $600 every other month. That is not just for their appearance in court. There's a lot of background, admin stuff that goes on, between them and the court systems. So that's not just for his appearance. His duties are listed in his engagement letter. Yes, ma'am.
Just so everyone is aware, I mentioned this to Kim, and she's gonna have them straighten it up under the agreement for municipal. Paragraph 1, prosecute. Correcting it, Kim.
You're welcome.
So when they say additional services beyond regular scheduled court dockets.
Recording in
And then number
progress.
2, it is at the judge's request and, the prosecutor's request that we provide security during these hearings. I've already reached out to, the sheriff's department, under their IGA that we currently hold with them. This would be an extra duty assignment, for deputies that are not currently on duty. They would sign up for this extra duty, on their days off. So it would be an off-duty deputy coming in uniform to serve security, during the course of the docket. And, it's $60 an hour, per our IGA with the sheriff's department. Like I said, though, some of these will probably only run 15 to 20 minutes, maybe an hour at the longest, unless we have a trial. Do they have a minimum charge? No, they don't.
And they've already said, yes, that's something that they can accommodate
Yes.
too.
Yes, and as soon as we had this meeting last week, I shot the sheriff, an email, letting him know the dates that, the group is proposing. And, working on putting an extra duty assignment sheet. Every other month should we, and if we don't need for it, then we'll cancel for it. Doesn't mean we'll automatically have it every other month. If there's nothing for the docket, there's no court that will be held that month.
We're only 600 the months we hold court.
I'm sorry.
They're only 600.
I mean, you
Recording in
can,
progress.
You can do a motion to incur that cost under the IGA.
Okay.
These are all additional costs over and above what our budgeted allowance is, so we will have to increase our budget in this. The other month, should we have court.
Go.
So I'll make a motion to engage with Amos Law, that's all we have to do.
Osmus.
Osmus.
We have a question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay. Get them going. And the extra duty, we,
I would like to have a
yeah,
motion
let's do that. Anybody?
that you guys are approving my
Okay.
utilizing the sheriff's department under the IGA.
So moved.
Thank you, Trevor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have 2 seconds. Any discussion?
Quick question, is there a way that we could get where that money goes to the sheriff's department, not to the Albert County General Fund to do whatever they do with the general fund for like Suburbans and such?
Yeah, this actually will go directly to them. He's gonna invoice me directly and I send a check directly to him.
It doesn't have to go through the county.
No, ma'am.
Okay,
I have
Awesome.
him directly.
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. We have a attorney and we have deputies. Ruth, conflict of interest discussion.
Why this button's so hard to undo. And we are just, as a matter of course, asking everybody if they had any conflicts of interest on any of the items this evening or other conversations that they want to disclose on the record.
Okay. Jerry?
We skipped number 2, new one out for recording.
I was just gonna say.
So if packets that were previously emailed to you, that's gonna reflect that. I've taken that off, actually. You guys
Okay.
had an original, agenda that I was going to discuss, a software program that was recommended by the court clerk
Gotcha.
and a laptop,
Yeah,
and we nixed that due to
the extreme.
extremely extraordinary cost of that. That was not reasonable whatsoever. So she's agreed to go old school if she needs to for the 2 or 3 people that are there for 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
So we're gonna exit out.
Yes.
Okay, at this time, I would entertain a motion to go into executive session for a conference with the town legal counsel for the purpose of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions under Colorado Revised Statute 24-6-402, 4 and B on specific legal questions regarding the Digby property. Town of condition to disconnect.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, I'll come out, get you.
You want me to, hey,
Moving forward, there's not gonna be anything left in this room. If you guys came in with something, can you leave with it, please? We won't be responsible for anything left in the chairs or.
Are you, shut off?
Physically give you her phone. Hand me your cell phone, I'll let you know.
Recording stopped.
Is this copy okay to sign? To services of Bosman?
Yes.
I'm glad we finally got that signed.
Yeah, I had to get, I'm like, okay, I need everybody. I need everybody's faces on my Zoom screen. I need
there was always,
everybody.
like, years.
Yeah.